Okay, now fam, what's it going to be? Is it going to be lack or abundance? You choose. Greetings, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. How y'all doing today? Today we're going to talk about this notion of lack or abundance. Like, what's your paradigm? Is it lack or abundance? And I'm going to break it down. It's going to be real simple, y'all. I'm not going to really even get overly complicated about it. I'm not going to get overcomplicated about it. And I'm going to say this. I think when we're thinking about lack or abundance, fundamentally, we're moving from one of two spaces. If you are a person who dwells on lack or operates from a space of lack, then essentially you could always be in a competitive state and you're going to always be tearing other people's down because you're like the crab in the barrel because you don't believe there's enough to go around. And so therefore you got to figure out how to get yours. Now, if you're a person of abundance, then guess what? You realize there is more than enough to go around and you could uplift people and cheer people on. But let me say this. I don't want to oversimplify this concept of lack and abundance because it's really, each one deserves their own like long, intense, in-depth consideration. But I just want to talk about me. I think for me that, honestly, I'm going to say this and I'm going to continue to say this and I'm all right with saying this. Let me just say I'm all right with saying this. And that is, I feel like religion has taught me lack. Lack of a lot of things. I mean, first of all, the lack of love. Because I don't remember even anybody really teaching me about love, like real unconditional love in the church. I always felt that the love that I was going to get or could get from God was conditional. That I had to get myself together. I had to live right. I had to be a certain person and do certain things, whether it was repent, whether it was give my life over to Christ, whether it was, all these different rules and regulations that religion brings to you in order for you to kind of be worthy and be in a space of being it just felt like something was always lacking in me. Like I was always a sinner. I was always imperfect. I was never good enough for God. I was never lack. I lacked the capacity to be 100% like worthy of God's love. That's what I learned. And I think in learning that, I knew one thing. I knew a couple of things. First, I'll start with the first thing. First of all, more than anything, I wanted love. I wanted love. Everything that I was learning about love or knew about love seemed really pretty kind of amazing. And I wanted to know love for myself. But I felt like the closer I was trying to get to love, the further away I was getting. And the reason why I was getting, and I kept saying, well, Spirit, why can't I experience love? Why can't I have love in my life? And why can't I know love? And why can't, something as simple as, why can't my mama just say, I love you, baby? Why couldn't she say that to me? Now, in hindsight, I understand that my mother is only, my mother did the best that she could. She did what she knew. No one was telling her they loved her. So how would she know to say she loved me? But I really needed her to say, I love you. I don't know. I just did. And I don't know where I got that from. But I just remember, dang, I just wish she would say, I love you. Whisper it. I know, put it on a note. I didn't care. And I knew I wanted to experience love. That from everything that I was getting in terms of information from the world and the culture was that this love thing is pretty phenomenal. And that it makes people feel amazing. And wow, I was like, yeah. But religion kept teaching me, girl, you ain't good enough to get no love. You ain't good enough to be loved. You ain't, you will spend your whole life searching for love. But I think the most profound lesson I learned from church was you'll get your love in the by and by. That you may not get it in the land of living, but you'll get it in the by and by if you live your life right. And I believe that my acceptance of that sent me on a path of self-destruction, sent me on a path of being overly competitive, and sent me on a path of tearing other people down because I was like a crab in a barrel and I was trying to get mine, whatever little bit I could get. And I remember, let me say something about when you accept that you're never going to get love. I think when you accept you're never going to get love, you kind of give up on life. You give up on living a good life. And as a result, you have really nothing to live for. And so therefore I became a very negative, I became a very aggressive, very, really, in some respects, very evil person. But I remember really on a regular basis at night feeling like, but this ain't me. This ain't me. I don't want to be like this. I want better than this. There's got to be better than this for me. And I remember in my most darkest moments when I was like, forget it. When I would have suicidal ideation or I wanted to kill myself. I mean, I would be in that deep, dark tunnel and I was like ready to go because I was tired of living this life and just realizing like, I'm never going to experience love. When I would be in the deep, dark tunnel, I was on my way out and death was going to happen no matter what. I always remember in those moments that there always was this still small voice in me that's saying, but maybe, just maybe, we'll know love. Just maybe I'll experience love. Just maybe, baby. I know you want to die and I know you're tired and I know you don't want to go on and I know life just feels so horrible. But there was this still voice in me that was like, but what about love? But and just maybe, baby, just maybe. And it was always in that like, what about love? And just maybe that I would cry my heart out. I would just cry, I mean, from the depths of my spirit, because I did want to know love. I did kind of fundamentally believe just maybe. And I think what it did was it put me in a space, it opened me up to really listening to spirit. And it put me in a space where I continue to ask the spirit, like, if there's this thing called love and I'm supposed to experience it, then you better. That's when I shift from begging God for stuff to like, you better show me something, because if you don't, I'm going to take a gun and put a bullet into my head. Like, no joke. Like, you better get about your business or else. And can I tell y'all something? When I started talking to God like that, guess what? God answered. Oh, yes, he did. The spirit, spirit answered. Started exposing me to spirituality, exposing me to the law of attraction. I mean, I do believe like some of my deepest, darkest hours were right before The Secret came out. And, but also, no, I'm going to tell you who I've probably first, well, I will say this. Fundamentally, like my spiritual journey really shifted and changed substantially. The first time it's changed really was when I went to Full Truth Unity Fellowship Church in Detroit, Michigan, and I heard Reverend Renee McCoy. That was the first pivot. That's when she spoke to me in a way, that really had me thinking about having a different relationship with the infinite intelligence. Oh yeah, so that was my first. I think my second fundamental pivot, was with Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love. And she has this prayer book, and I still have it. It's old, raggedy, marked up. I used to read that thing day in and day out. I think also, too, around that time, and I'm not sure, I think maybe, I'm trying to recall history. When you get as old as I am, things become historical. Anyways, I think Ayanna Van Zant probably was my real, I want to say Ayanna Van Zant was first. Then Renee McCoy came in, and then Marianne Williamson. But then fundamentally, years later, then The Secret came along. So what happened is, because of the combination of between Ayanna and Reverend Renee McCoy and Marianne Williamson and then Deepak Chopra and all these other ones that I was starting to, be aware of and be listening to and read and stuff like that, and other workshops and stuff that I went to, by the time The Secret came along, it was clicking for me, because it was helping me put all the pieces together, because for me, everybody was giving me pieces, and I was trying to work it, but somehow The Secret helped put it all together. And I think the reason why the pieces came together is because The Secret had a lot of different teachers, and so each one spoke to me in a different way, and each one helped me put different pieces together, and it brought it into alignment. And so, you know, and as a result of that, I moved out. I think fundamentally, when you think about lack and abundance, I think my lack really wasn't about necessarily financial lack or material lack, but it was lack of love. And when I knew that love was abundant and was available to me and that I was worthy of it, then everything started to shift. I no longer felt the need to be aggressive, negative, and, you know, be like a crab in the barrel, but always be about positivity and always be about, look, y'all, there is more than enough to go around. Check it out. More than enough. Whether it's material, physical, financial, spiritual, love is over. There's an abundance. And I think one of the first phases that I went through is once you kind of come to this revelation and you get it, you're like happy and you want to share it with the world. But you have to understand that people have to be receptive. They have to be ready to receive that kind of information. But I was a little pushy about it. I was like, look, y'all got to understand that, look, love is abundant. There's enough love for everybody. Everybody's looking at me like, now last week you was trying to cuss me out. And this week you talking about love is abundant. Like, Charlotte, yeah, I don't know who you are, but okay, it's all cute. And and I had a oh, it's funny, you can laugh at yourself now, but back then I was so ashamed, so embarrassed, but what I love now about myself is that I realize, you know, I realize people have to be receptive when they want to be receptive, how they want to be receptive. And more importantly, it's just my job to be present to that and be the light of that and be the example. I don't need to push, prod, cajole, manipulate, persuade, you know, just be I just continue to live my life as an example, which is what this channel is about. It's really about saying, look, I'm showing you guys the example. And then my example is not perfect, but I'm just kind of sharing with you my path. And so I say to you, fam, what is your mindset? Is it lack or is it abundance? And let me tell you right now that there is more than enough to go around, all of it. Physical well-being, mental clarity, financial prosperity, all of it. There's more than enough to go around. There's enough for all of us. And that it will take slow, methodical, intentional steps to shift from that lack to abundance. And that it won't happen overnight. But every moment when you're able to move forward, you will just be so excited. You'll be like, woo, I'm cussing people out less and less. Now, I wasn't really a big person who cussed a lot of people out. But sometimes I could be really negative and or I could be judgmental or critical. I realize that about myself. And so I love that, you know, I really try to step away from that, and how really when I'm in such challenging situations, I try to be more heart-centered. And I so love myself about that. I love that about myself. That, you know, Charlotte, how do you move from a heart-centered space in this moment? How do you show up in the world more heart-centered from that space of abundance, the abundance of love, the abundance of unconditional love, the abundance of worthiness? That's how I'm trying to show up. So fam, talk to me. Tell me, where are you? What is your paradigm? Is it lack or is it abundance? And if it is lack or abundance, tell me why. And tell me, what are your intentions and where do you want to be? And how is it showing up in your life? And what are the changes that you are potentially going to make if you're trying to move from lack to abundance? Because hopefully you're not moving from abundance to lack. Most people, if you're in abundance, you ain't trying to move to lack. And so I know I don't have to worry about that. But if you are a little bit abundance and you want to be feeling more abundant, what are the ways in which what are strategies that you are using? Because I would love to hear it, because I learn from people all the time, and I love learning from y'all. And that's why I'm on here. This is not a dialogue. This is not a monologue. This is a dialogue. We having a conversation. All right, fam. What about love? What about abundance? What if? What if, fam? Take care now. Peace. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you got a little something out of it, and I look forward to sharing with you more of my thoughts about spirituality. Understand that this ain't meant to be no monologue. I'm not preaching at you, but this is a space for discussion. So please, pretty please, with sugar on top, leave your text or video comments below, because I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I'll see you next time, wishing you nothing but peace, prosperity, and a whole bunch of love. Take care now, beautiful spirits. I love you.